Now here is something good. This Philip Johnson, the law professor at Berkeley, he wrote Darwin on Trial. It's very good. Until you get to where he starts talking about religion. He's got his facts down on evolution better than anybody I've ever read. But then we have original sin, and we inherited a corruptible nature, and God is one person in three. God created Adam in His image, and they were given this great intelligence and knowledge and perfect innocence and purity, and all this was written in their hearts. And no, it wasn't. It's the best thing I ever saw on evolution. Now, this is just a brochure, which gives you kind of a gist of what the book. I have the book, too. But if you want to read it, it's very good. He has an eye here, because he talks about the eye. I just got this a couple years ago. When I first started studying the Bible, 40 years ago, the one thing that struck me about evolution was the eye. How do you evolve an eye? When did a creature not have an eye decided he wanted one? And then one of his buddies said, you know, if you're going to go for the eye thing, go for two. And he said, two? I mean, he didn't have a mouth, he couldn't talk, he had no brains. He said, what do you mean two? And his buddy said, depth perception. If you're going to have eyes, you need depth perception. You need two eyes spread apart, taking a different... You get this thing called depth perception. It's an illusion in the brain. It's not real. You understand, depth perception is not real. It's an illusion. This eye sees things from here. This eye sees it from here. It gives you an illusion that there's depth. It's in the brain. This eye sees a flat picture. This eye sees a flat picture. Put them together, you got depth perception. That's what the brain tells you. That evolved from sea slime? Listen. So mutations. Only 1 in 100 generations of most animals and so on produces any kind of a mutation. And mutations are usually bad. They're detrimental to the health of the creature. Let's suppose, though, that once in a while you have a mutation that is some kind of a benefit. And in this case, we're going to work on an eye. How many mutations would you have to have in a row beneficial to start constructing an eye through evolution? Well, somewhere around 1 trillion. 1 trillion. That is, if you had 1 trillion consecutive mutations, they were all positive and beneficial, and they were all directly related to constructing an eye. What are the chances of that? 1 in 100 quadrillion, trillion, quadrillion, trillion. You see what I mean? And that's every 100th generation or whatever. How many trillions and quadrillions of trillions of years would that be? Millions of times longer than the universe was here. Did the human eye evolve? No. No, it did not. Every time you look at an eye, you know there's a God. That is so... And not only does the eye see, the eye doesn't see. The brain sees. What? Yeah, the brain sees. You need the eye, but the brain sees through the eye. The eye doesn't see anything. The eye is dumb. Now you've got to have this eye, and you've got to connect it to a brain who interprets what all this is. And that evolved out of chance with no intelligence. All you have to know is you have two eyes. And that is proof positive there is a God. That is, it's unequivocal proof that there's a God. That you can't even begin to imagine your way around that in evolution. There's no way. I mean, evolution said, well, if there's enough time. How many trillions of years do you want? Because that ain't enough time. It's all we had billions of years. Billions? You need thousands of trillions. So, yes, there's a God. If He made eyes, He's also pretty bright. If He made these, He's pretty strong. If He gave us a brain and we can think subjectively, He's pretty wise. I mean, pretty soon you're adding these attributes of what God is. And He keeps getting bigger and bigger. That's what I want you to see today. God is bigger than the stupid, superstitious junk that we learned in the Protestant religion or the Catholic religion. And I don't mean all theologians are just stupid people. I mean, there are intelligent theologians who would give honor to God and so on. They just can't get away from the dumb doctrines, because they were, hoodwinked into that stuff. And I feel sorry for some of them. Some of them appear to be genuinely sincere, but they're still sincerely wrong.